For his second collection at Mugler, creative director Miguel Castro Freitas approached the house's heritage with a concept he called the commander. The idea unfolded as a study of power dressing, one of the defining signatures established by founder Manfred Thierry Mugler, filtered through a personal constellation of muses. Historical and cinematic figures collided on the runway: warrior saints, Hollywood icons, and speculative futures. The result was a collection that treated authority not as a fixed symbol but as a shifting aesthetic language. Freitas's creative process reportedly begins with dense visual collages projected across his studio walls, and that layered thinking translated directly into the garments. References surfaced gradually rather than appearing as literal quotations. A sharply cut black leather jacket with a diagonal zip, paired with a reduced trilby hat, echoed the cool nocturnal glamour associated with Catherine Deneuve in the film The Hunger. Elsewhere, a rigorously tailored pinstriped coat constructed with the elongated lines of a 17th-century court garment evoked the ambitious power suits worn by Joan Crawford and Mildred Pierce. Throughout the collection, silhouettes asserted themselves through disciplined structure. Military-leaning skirt suits appeared in glossy leather rendered in contrasting colors, their lines sharpened by assertive shoulders and sculptural waists. Pleated lame dresses introduced a metallic fluidity that softened the more martial tailoring, while still retaining a distinctly futuristic edge. The balance between strict tailoring and reflective surfaces gave the lineup a faintly dystopian undertone, amplified by references to cinematic worlds reminiscent of Blade Runner and Gattaca. Uniformity served as both inspiration and tension point. Some looks channeled a Soviet-inflected aesthetic through rigid silhouettes and shelf-like shoulder constructions, while others explored Mugler's long-standing fascination with hyper-structured femininity. Jackets hugged the torso with architectural precision, skirts cut narrow but assertive, and coats extended the body upward and outward with deliberate theatricality. The garments carried the unmistakable imprint of the house's sculptural tradition while avoiding simple archival repetition. The setting added another layer of resonance. The show took place at the Palais de la Porte Dorée, an Art Deco building originally constructed for the 1931 International Colonial Exhibition and now home to the Museum of Immigration History. Its ornate interiors, marked by historical contradictions, provided a charged backdrop for a collection preoccupied with authority, symbolism, and the visual codes of power. Freitas has been open about engaging critically with Mugler's legacy, which has long provoked debate for its extreme constructions and provocative imagery. The designer's approach this season seemed less interested in reproducing those spectacles than in reframing their intent. Power dressing here was presented not simply as armor or display, but as an act of personal authorship, how a garment can shape posture, presence, and identity. That philosophy resonated beyond the runway. Among the guests was Chappell Roan, whose recent appearance at the Grammys in a revived Mugler archival design sparked widespread discussion. Freitas cited her confidence in wearing the piece as evidence that the house's more provocative ideas can still function as expressions of autonomy rather than provocation for its own sake. The Fall-Winter 2026 to 2027 collection ultimately positioned Mugler in a space between homage and recalibration. Freitas demonstrated an understanding of the brand's architectural discipline and its fascination with authority as spectacle. At times the references accumulated so densely that the garments risked becoming conceptual exercises rather than fully resolved statements. Yet when the tailoring tightened and the silhouettes asserted their clarity, the collection revealed a compelling direction, power dressing not as nostalgia, but as a renewed exploration of control, posture, and presence in contemporary fashion.